everyone, Tyler from Duelcastermage.com here. Got another Duel Commander match for you guys, but I wanted to try something different today. And what I'm doing here is I recorded this match. I'm going to speed up the clip by about 3 times, so it's a lot more compact and goes faster for you. But I'm also going to be narrating what happens in the game and my thought processes. So let me know if you like this format in the comments, and if so, I'll keep doing it and trying to keep improving on the value for you guys watching. I'm also going to you'll see some life total and some other stats tables or boxes in the upper right hand corner, and I magnified those so you can more easily see that sort of thing as the game progresses. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, I am running O-Kagachi, Vengeful Kami is my deck here, and this is not a dragon build around or anything like that. This is an enchantment deck, kind of like an enchantress deck, and my opponent's running Nissa, Vastwood Seer, the pretty commonly played commander that goes big with a lot of Eldrazi and stuff. So I mulligan this hand. I decided to keep because there's a Pentad Prism. I can get some acceleration, plus the Supreme Verdict is going to really help against all the swarms. My opponent Worldly Tutors for a Priest of Titania on his first turn. He's on the play, so he gets to get that out there. I run out the Pentad Prism for 2 colors, hoping with the intention to maybe play Supreme Verdict next turn to blow everything up, or if it's not that threatening, play Ghostly Prison. My opponent plays Nissa, his commander, and all of a sudden he has access to a lot of mana. He plays Brittle Effigy and a Boreal Druid, so he's got potentially 7 or 8 mana next turn. So because he would have so much mana with that Priest of Titania plus the Boreal Druid, I decide to just wrath away his board here. Opponent untaps and says go, so get a little breathing room. I don't feel like using my last Pentad Prism counter to play Keranos. Rather Demonic Tutor for the deck, the best card in the deck, which is Enduring Ideal. You can see it there. I have some game-ending combos, especially with new cards that have been printed, which I'll explain later. Okay, my opponent plays a Sanctum of Ugin, which is a very good land in Nissa's deck. But other than that, just replays his commander and says go. Unfortunately, I don't draw a land. If I did, I could have played Enduring Ideal there, but draw a Chromatic Lantern instead, which at least is a mana source. So I figure it's best to run that out and then run out Ghostly Prison, because I know I'm going to have enough mana with that Pentad Prism counter next turn to play Enduring Ideal. So my opponent plays Woodland Bellower. Very good creature in Nissa's deck. I'm worried about Reclamation Sage. I think that's the obvious target, but he gets Eternal Witness instead, which brings back Worldly Tutor. All right, I draw a mana source, but it's not really relevant. I finally have enough mana to cast Enduring Ideal. So I get Decree of Silence, which you can see it there. Brutal card from Scourge. Basically counters the next 3 spells he plays, then Decree of Silence goes to the graveyard. But it's a key component in one of the key lock combos that I play. Okay, my opponent plays a 7th land, flips Nissa, and then flips the top card, which is a land, which goes directly into play. A little, worried that he's going to have 3 spells here because he got the Worldly Tutor back, and he had, so he has so much mana. But I'm thrilled when I realize he only has 2 spells he can play. So they still have a counter and Decree of Silence, which keeps it around. Now I go straight to get the Solemnity, which is a combo with Decree of Silence that locks them out of ever casting spells for the rest of the game. Or rather, all the spells get countered because Decree of Silence never has enough depletion counters to go to the graveyard. So I'm thinking I'm sitting pretty. My opponent keeps pecking in for damage here because my life total is starting to get low. He has to pay with Ghostly Prison, which is nice. But here I get Phyrexian Unlife, which also combos with Solemnity to allow me to never lose the game for having from damage or life loss. Unfortunately, my opponent then drops the Ulamog the Infinite Gyro Bomb, which even though Decree of Silence is out, it's a cast trigger, so he's going to get to blow up a permanent just for casting the Ulamog, which really it's not an instant death because he can't attack. He doesn't have the mana for Ghostly Prison, but he sacrifices his Sanctum of Ugin to get World Breaker, which is going to mess me up next turn. And Ulamog doesn't get countered because he used Cavern of Souls on Eldrazi. So Decree of Silence still not invincible. The Cavern of Souls is another card that can deal with it. Here, I think for a while, how can I deal with this Annihilator trigger? I also have the World Breaker that I know is coming. I kind of tank a little bit, but ultimately decided to go with Treachery to take control of Ulamog. That, at the very least, that's going to be a good blocker. It's my thought process, because he would otherwise be able to attack me without Phyrexian Unlife anymore. But he exiles Treachery with World Breaker and is able to swing at me with extra mana for the win. All right, game 2. I keep this hand because I have a Supreme Verdict again. It's a bit slow, but I am on the play, which is nice, and I have all my colors. Opponent plays a turn 1 Aether Vial, which is always scary. And turn 2 Sylvan Library. So he's set up pretty well, and he knows that he can just start paying life for his Sylvan Library against a deck like mine. I cast Idyllic Tutor to search for an enchantment. I don't have anything in particular that really want, but I end up going with Curse of Misfortunes because it's the longest, the best long-term value if it doesn't get blown up. I probably should have gotten Sterling Grove to protect further enchantments, but I do not. So he Worldly Tutors for Reclamation Sage, so I know he has a Reclamation Sage to blow up one of my enchantments. Makes sense because I just tutored for Curse of Misfortunes. So he's got a lot of gas on his side. Fauna Shaman. I draw Toxic Deluge, which I decide is worthwhile enough to kill the Fauna Shaman, because that can just tutor for anything that he could possibly want with Aether Vial powerful. So he plays his commander here and another mana dork, and feel like I'm just going to play Keranos while I have a little bit of a window here. I feel like Nissus might not flip for a turn. But at the end of my turn, he flashes in Fierce Empath off the Aether Vial, which lets him search for any creature with converted mana cost 6 or higher, and he gets the World Breaker to break my world once again. Aether Vial keeps ticking up, keeps paying life for Sylvan Library. Just desperate to I hope that he doesn't do anything too crazy that I can untap and wipe the board and play this Curse of Misfortunes if I get a window, or ride Keranos to victory. Get Plinked down, but I'm very excited to see Enduring Ideal off of Keranos, and then I tank a little bit about which creature to kill, but I decide I want to play Supreme Verdict this turn. I might as well just 0.3 damage at his face. The thing about Enduring Ideal is it has Epic, so you cannot play any more spells after you cast Enduring Ideal, so I'd have to rely on one enchantment a turn to pull me out of. He already had 4 creatures or so in play at that point. Here comes the World Breaker, which I can't really stop. Takes out my Indestructible Keranos because it exiles, but luckily I draw Swords to Plowshares. And I have my Seraph Sanctum, which cannot make any mana because I have no enchantments because they keep dying. I know he still has a Reclamation Sage in his hand at this point and an Aether Vial on 3 counters, so any enchantment I get, unless it's indestructible, is kind of toast. Here he plays a Duplicate on an empty board, which I'm kind of happy about, don't quite understand. Thrilled to get my 7th land, so I just slam this Enduring Ideal and grab, this was a mistake, Decree of Silence. I just spaced out for a minute and forgot he could, Aether Vial the Reclamation Sage in to kill it, so that was just a complete waste. I do have Starfield of Nyx to get it back later, but it's hard to find windows to do all that stuff. My opponent plays a Birthing Pod, which is another very dangerous threat. I assume he has other cards like Reclamation Sage, Acidic Slime to go up the chain and hurt me, but he gets a Thought-Knot Seer, which is fine. I can't even play spells. The thing about Enduring Ideal is you just can F9 your entire turn away, or F6 if you're used to MTGO lingo. So now I'm kind of scrambling here to try to survive with my usual path to victory is gone, the Decree of Silence plus Solemnity. So I end up face fettering his Birthing Pod to shut that down and gain 4 life. Not sure it was the best choice, but it seemed like safest in the short term. He plays Selval, Heart of the Wilds, which is pretty dangerous because he's going to draw extra cards. I realize that I can shut that down as well as protect my total if I get Overwhelming Splendor, the new 8-mana curse from Hour of Devastation. I realize I should have gotten that last turn instead of Face Fetters because that would have shut off Birthing Pod as well. But I was considering mode. I happened to draw it the same turn. Unfortunately, my Overwhelming Splendor for this world is he just slowly draws into Ulamog once again to crush my dreams, and even gets a second Ulamog off of the Sanctum of Ugin, and I die. Well, that's a turbocharged view, and thanks for watching. Hey everyone, Tyler from Duelcastermage.com here. If you enjoyed the video you just watched and all the creative content we produce here, we'd be thrilled if you could share your support by liking this video, commenting on it, subscribing to our channel, and contributing to our Patreon. Just click on the links to the side here to help out. We want to take Duel Commander and all 1v1 Commander formats to the next level, and your support helps us keep producing awesome content. Thanks for watching, and see you later.